Hi everybody, welcome back to Great Lakes Junction. As promised, we're back in the kitchen and we're going to be making up egg noodles and making this canned beef stroganoff that we made the last video into a meal. So stay tuned. This is a simple recipe. There's only a few ingredients, as you can see. We have 1.5 to 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to be using 1.5 for now, only because we will probably be using the other half as we go. You need 1 teaspoon of salt, and you can use any salt that you like. It does not matter. I use just sea salt, pink Himalayan sea salt. We like it the best. And you want 2 eggs. And this bowl is not going to be big enough, and I'm going to make a big mess. I can see it already. And you want to have a little bit of water on hand. So I'm just going to grab a tiny bit. Calls for 2 or 3 tablespoons of water. I'm just going to put it in as we need it. You don't want this to be really wet dough. You want it to be a dry dough. So we're just going to mix this up, and then while doing this, we're just going to incorporate the flour a little bit at a time as we go, and not too much, and eventually it will get too thick to do it with a fork. So we just continue doing this, and you might need a little bit more flour. That's why we only put the 1.5 cups in rather than the 2. It just depends on your, really, on the climate that you're in. Some people are in drier climates. Some people are in more humid climate. Today it's raining here, so we definitely have high humidity. If you have a big KitchenAid mixer or anything like that, you could do that in your mixer. I'm just going to do it by hand. And it does take a while to get it incorporated. Sometimes it's just easier to do it right on your counter too. With that said, I'm just going to dump it on the counter. It'll be easier for me to knead it out that way, rather than trying to mix it with a fork. There we go. You just want to get all that flour in there. Once this dough is into a ball, you want to let it sit and rest for about half an hour to let them glutens kick in. It's really dry, so I'm going to add that little bit of water just with my fingertips. The more you work at it, the softer it gets. And it's now, it's not sticking as much either now. Gives you a workout. Okay, that's it. So we are going to wrap this up and let it sit for about 30 minutes and let it rest. And then we'll be back to roll it out and cut it up. Okay, our dough's set for 30 minutes. I just unwrapped it and cut it into 6 pieces. So I'm just going to take one piece, we'll wrap this up and just set it over on the side. So what you want to do is, if you don't have a pasta maker, you want to roll this out, and depending on how wet your dough is, you might want to add some flour to it so it's not so sticky. Mine's not too bad, it's kind of relatively dry, which is good. I do not have a pasta maker, so it's just me and a rolling pin. And what you're gonna do is just roll it out as thin as you would like. I really like thin noodles, so it takes a little bit of rolling to get it thinned out enough. So once I get to that thickness that I like, I'll bring you right back. Okay, so I think I've got this one as thin as I want it. So now what I'm going to do is just drop a little bit of flour on here, and this should be rectangular. I, for whatever reason, can't do it that way, so I just roll it up and then I just slice it like this, and you can slice it however thick you want your noodles. See, it's about ½ inch. You can do them really thin, you can do them like spaghetti if you want, or you can do them really broad. So I just slice all these up, and then if you have the flour on the inside when you roll them up, they should not stick together. So once you get them cut off like that, they should just unroll, just like that. And I just put them into a pile. Whoops. And then when you cook them, you just put them in like any other noodle. You just put them in boiling and salted water for 3 to 5 minutes. Check them, because you don't want them to overcook, but you don't want them undercooked either. I don't think they would taste too appetizing if they were undercooked. So that's all it is to it. It's really quick. A little bit of elbow grease to get them made and rolled out. If you have a pasta maker, that would be perfect. You'd be able to roll it out relatively quick with not much work. So that's it. I'm going to get these noodles finished up, and then we will go on to the actual beef stroganoff, and we'll cook that up as well. So I'll be right back. Okay, our noodles are all done, rolled out and cut up. Made it about a pound weight-wise, so that's a pretty good amount. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to switch over to the stove, and we'll start getting the stroganoff out of the can and get it thickened up, and then we will, while that's thickening, we can boil these and get them all ready. Okay, we got you all moved over here so you can watch. I'm just gonna, oh, listen to that seal. Open that up. And we're just going to pour this in our pan. Now, if this is not brothy enough for you, you can add more broth if you'd like. So we're just going to heat that up slowly. Just going to put it on medium. I think I might put a ½ cup of broth in there, but no more. Okay, so this is simmering now. So I've got about ½ cup of broth in here that I just mixed up quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 tablespoons, of cornstarch to this, and mix that up and put it in here to thicken. If you want, you can use flour, you can use arrowroot powder, you can use whatever you like to thicken it. I like cornstarch. I never have much of an issue. It doesn't clump, and when it's done, it gives everything a shine. We'll just use our jar because less dishes to wash. So we're just going to leave this and let it thicken. We have to stir it pretty consistently to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. And we're just waiting for our water to boil for our noodles. Okay, last ingredient. We have 2 heaping spoonfuls of sour cream. I'm just using big soup spoon, maybe 3. And that's it for the stroganoff itself. Our noodles are in boiling. Now, if you want, and you are a huge mushroom lover like me, you can add some mushrooms in here if you'd like, just to give it more vegetables, and it will go a little bit further. You can use dried mushrooms, fresh mushrooms. You can use canned, and I like freezing my mushrooms. They seem to freeze really, really well. So that's one option that you have. I actually freeze them on a cookie sheet, and then put them in freezer bags and leave them in there, and they last quite a while. Okay, our noodles are all done, and our stroganoff is all done. So just going to, our noodles look really good. They turned out super. Just gonna put a bit on here, and we'll give it a try. I guess it'd be good if I had a fork. Fresh parsley out of the garden already. I'm so glad my herbs are starting to come in now. And this is smoking hot. Super good. Really creamy with that sour cream in there. And the beef tastes great. It's fantastic. So if you can this up along with me, try making your own noodles instead of buying them, just to see how you like it. For now, thanks for watching. Stay safe.